Hey guys, this is for my students. I wanted to put together an example of one of the jobs I've done from the past. This was an assignment for the Nokia n-gage. I was hired by Gray Worldwide to do kind of a painterly print ad that was going to be almost life size and printed on the inside of trams or trains in Canada. And the concept was that the hero of the game, this guy, Jacob, I think his name was, would be holding his gun at the front end of the passenger compartment. And then at the back end of the passenger compartment would be the evil aliens that are opposing, so that the passengers would feel like they were caught in between an Old West sort of gunfight. This was the sketch that was given to me by the art director. And this is a Photoshop of the aliens that they gave me. They didn't have a whole lot of detail, but this is kind of typical for things that you would get. I also received some artwork from the game, and it was really this low resolution because back then games were 320 by 240, if that, on those little devices. This is from the print ad they gave me. This is an actor that was hired for the commercial as well as the print ad. This is some artwork from the game. So you can see what the alien sort of looks like. You can see his pointy head. That was apparent in the first sketch by the art director. And seeing the alien head as well as the weird legs and the arms, this is what they wanted. However, it was quite a bit different in the print ad that they had running. That this is the alien that was on the print ad, which is different from the one in the game, which is again different from the one in the commercial. I took some screenshots of the commercial, and I don't think they had the budget to do something with the game character. They tried to get as close as they could to it, but the head was really different, and this mouth was here. So there, and there was a lot of back and forth with the mouth and the ball. And the concept was that two characters would sort of bump into each other, and he was chasing the soccer ball, which bounced onto the picnic grounds where the alien was having a picnic with his friends. And then they come to a face-off. So now they're sort of facing each other, and then it's, okay, it's on. So here's the game logo. Okay? And more detail on that. They sent me some artwork for the weapon. This was used to create the 3D model. And they gave me one shot from the game, which was this 3D model. When I got the call, I was on my way to school to teach a class, and knowing that I didn't have much reference material from the game, I got one of my students to put on my leather jacket and strike poses that were reminiscent of the game. This one, he would be holding a gun, and I wanted him to have the two guns, and I just needed the information from the jacket for the folds. Okay? And then I did outline sketches just to see how the shapes look, and then added some value to those. And I guess I misread some of the images from the game. I thought he had like a bag, sort of like Indiana Jones, but he didn't. It was like some sort of a sash, actually. So he really didn't have a bag, but he had kind of this purse thing sort of going. And I never liked that purse thing. It really bugged me. Oh, and another thing that occurred was there was a shooting on the tram. So suddenly they didn't want me to use guns. But here's the back and forth about the alien. The alien, they said make him fierce. So I tried to make him a little bit more fierce. And, they kept changing the way he looked, per se. This one they didn't like so much. They wanted me to go back to the alien from the commercial. So I went back to the alien from the commercial with his head style like this, and then incorporated that onto the body I'd already drawn. A little more value work and a little more background. The background wasn't going to be important. It was just going to be cutouts that would be adhesively attached to the passenger compartments. And so I didn't really need to worry about the background. I just kind of threw it in there. They didn't like the head. They wanted more teeth. And so I added more teeth, because it just needed to be more scary. So I added the more teeth and made it more like the alien from the game, and stuck that on the body. And you remember my initial drawing where we had Jacob with the guns up in the air? They thought that was aggressive, so they wanted the guns pointed down, because down would be better. Okay, so threw Jacob on a generic background. Then I got a call to remove the teeth from the alien, and this is kind of what they wanted. This was their version colorized. So I stuck their version, and they wanted me to change the body up so it didn't look so human. But it's kind of hard because I was working from the commercial, which had a human inside a costume. And, they just had me play with the proportions. So here's the alien again with no teeth and a different body. And they didn't like that body. They wanted me to change it up more. So I drew another body, flipped and mirrored it, threw the head on, and here we go again. And, I made him more skinny in this version. And they couldn't decide between the tall and skinny or the short and fat. So I gave them an option to pick. So I took the gun, started working on the gun, and they really did not want him holding the gun at all. They wanted it on his belt. They wanted to hide the gun, is what they wanted, because the whole shooting on the train was in the news, and it was just all awful, and video games were to blame, so we had to hide the gun. But it's a first-person shooter. What are you going to do? It's about the gun, right? So I made the gun look as flaccid and impotent as I possibly could, and had him clutch his man bag to make it, really unmasculine, and show to them, is this what you guys really want? Another one where I put the gun, sketch for the gun pointed down, and slumped his shoulders. Like, this is not a good idea, guys. You gotta have a macho heroic hero, not a gun pointed down kind of friendly, non-threatening kind of guy for your first person shooter. So I colored that one with the man bag and tried to make the gun dark against his dark coat so it wouldn't be seen. But seeing this at the end of the train stuck as a big sticker, man with a purse and a gun in his holster, it just wouldn't sell. It just wouldn't work. So this was kind of ammo for the art director to go back and let him know that their request was just not going to fly. So I went back, worked on the gun, and I just started painting. Because I had a feeling they were going to kill the job if they didn't have anything that got them excited. So at this time, Art Rage just came out, and I was just messing with it. And I really liked the way it worked, more so than Painter. So I just started painting this guy, and they really liked this. So I cut this and put this in this document so I could start doing his face. This one, this first pass, they thought he was a little too old. Then I, made him a little younger and a little more younger as I finished his coat and everything, and added the gun in there, and I just threw an abstract background really quick. So that one was pretty much done. Then I went back to this one, cut the jacket out of the other one so I could grab colors from there and start applying them the jacket over here. And gave him some jeans and a shirt, and brought that up, added another abstract background. It was all layered and cut out anyway, so it didn't matter. Then back to the alien. So, got him a little more contrasty. Got this alien from the print ad, this 3D rendered alien. So I started grabbing the colors off of that alien and flipped it to get it more, painted up the seams, added some of the textures, you know, moved the highlights in, and threw him on a background. Now they were going to cut him out and duplicate. So background didn't matter. They didn't like it. They thought that it looked too 3D rendered, and they wanted it more painterly, which was the whole reason they hired me in the first place. So going back, removing the textures, trying to make it all a little more painterly, emphasizing the strokes, put them on the background. And they told me that it really didn't matter. They didn't really care. They didn't see even that much difference between this one or this one. But that was the back and forth of how one of these jobs kind of goes. It's probably one of the better paying jobs I've had. I really like the art director. He tried to run interference for me on stuff. But in any case, that was the job. And I really enjoyed it. So I hope you enjoyed this little presentation and understand how you may have to do sketches that you never take to finish to show clients that their idea may not work, because they're not going to be able to visualize the difference between this and this unless you actually show it to them. I hope that's helpful. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace out.